These two are absolutely amazing. It gets in your head and your confidence goes sky high, and I think it's great.
Underrated, overrated, or properly rated, playing out from the back.
Overrated, mate.
Go
You
back to
knew that was
4-4-2. Yes, it is Cole Palmer.
Sorry.
As a calm and a right, he's ruined the video. And if you listen at home, you didn't even get a chance. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Game of Two Halves podcast, a weekly podcast where we talk all things Premier League and football in general. If you're new around here, thanks for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe if you do enjoy, and the podcast is also on Spotify if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, it's also on YouTube and Apple Podcasts for those of you that love your iPhones. But we're going to dive straight into things. Episode 53. We've just had the 5th game week of the Premier League season, 24-25 campaign. And there's a lot to cover. There was a big game between City and Arsenal. United had a 0-0 draw. Liverpool got things going again. But first of all, I'll let you kick it off with the interesting fact for the viewers or listeners.
Right. Interesting fact this week. You're going to love this one, Levi.
Yes, come on.
Liverpool's 2018-19 team lost 4 times more games in the Champions League than in the Premier League that season, yet they won the Champions League and came runners-up in the Premier League.
It mustn't be many games then, when you say 4 times more. Was it like 4? Was it literally 4 games?
Well, in the Premier League, they lost 1.
Oh, yeah.
And in the Champions League, they lost 4.
Was that the season they won? Oh, no, the runners-up. So that was the season they came very, very close.
Yeah, it was like, wasn't
they
it
won the
like
season
1 point? No, it was goal difference, wasn't it? Or was it 1 point
might
off?
have been, yeah. So 18-19 was that City won,
Prem.
Liverpool were close.
Yeah.
But then the year after, did Liverpool win? 19-20?
It might have been.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
But yeah, it's weird that, isn't it?
That was one of the seasons they had where they literally barely slipped up.
Yeah.
In the Prem, anyway.
And just because Champions League's kicked off and everything, I thought I'd throw this one in as well.
Yeah, double fact.
Aren't you all lucky?
Cheat yourself.
Theo Walcott has scored more Champions League goals than R9.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
When they say, what is it on the alternative MUFC? Walcott or Pele? Walcott or Pele?
I bet a lot of people don't know about that, but it's class.
I mean, they used to be in the Champions League regularly back then, didn't they? When Walcott was coming through.
Yeah,
I know they didn't. I mean, they had that.
No, they was always there.
Yeah, they were always like, because Wenger always got top 4.
But you're surprised, well, Ronaldo was always there, right? But
maybe it was quite short-lived, wasn't
Yeah.
it? His height at the best, was it as long? Or maybe Walcott was just immense and they had some pretty dross teams in the group stages.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good pub quiz question now. Not like you'd ever necessarily get asked that comparison, but now I know in my head Walcott has scored quite a lot of Champions League goals.
To be fair, it'll be interesting to find out how many he's got, because I haven't got that figure yet.
That's your fact for next week.
That's your fact for next week,
You guys do the research and comment below. We've done our bit.
Right, what we'll do, we'll go straight into a little segment before we go into the games.
Okay.
And it's called Who Said It?
I like this.
Right.
Testing me.
Yeah.
And you guys.
Getting your cogs turning in your brain already. So it's going to be Who Said It, right? And the people that I've got are Jose Mourinho, Jurgen Klopp, and Pep Guardiola.
Oh, so they're all managers.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's Who Said It. So I'm going to read out a quote and you're going to tell me who said it, yeah?
Okay.
Let's see how many you can get.
Yep.
I enjoy the work. I enjoy every minute of my professional life. Who do you reckon says that?
I genuinely feel like it could be any of them, but I'm going to go Jose.
Well done. Yeah.
We're on the board.
You're on the board.
Happy days. No 007 today.
Will I be a success? I don't know. Bit of a weird quote, but you having it?
My gut's telling me one thing. I'm gonna go against it slightly. I'm gonna say Klopp for that one.
That was Pep.
Yeah, that was my gut feeling. But I had some weird feeling that when Klopp joined Liverpool, he didn't big it up too much.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where my brain was going. 1 for 2, not great.
I hate to speak about individuals. Players don't win you trophies. Teams win trophies. Squads win trophies.
Again, I feel like all of these so far, I feel like I could have picked any of them. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go Guardiola again.
That's Mourinho.
Fucking hell. I thought I had it in my head as it being like someone asking Pep about Messi or something.
Yeah.
And him like downplaying it.
You
Could have been
think,
Mourinho downplaying it about Ronaldo though, I suppose.
Yeah, you won't think Mourinho say that. I thought it would be like, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that could have been any of them, to be honest.
Okay. He is really something. I love him. He is Sir Arsene Wenger.
Oh my God.
I think there's one that definitely isn't this guy.
Yeah, it can't be Mourinho. There's no way.
No, it definitely can't.
But you could be trolling me. Let's go. Let's get Jurgen on the board.
That is Jurgen Klopp.
Yes.
Well done.
That was a lucky guess, to be honest. It was 1 out of 2, wasn't it, really? With taking Mourinho out.
Right. I only change things where I know about a situation. I'd never change just for a change.
I'm going to go off instinct of some decisions I've seen made and go with Guardiola on that one.
Klopp.
Oh, see, that one stinks of Guardiola getting called out for his stupid changes he makes in finals.
Yeah.
And people going like, why did you do that?
Yeah. These are all hard, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right, okay. From my point of view, I always want to fight until the end of my last chance.
Again, you'd feel like any of them would say that, but I'm going to go with Jose.
It's Pep Guardiola.
Oh, boring.
Here's one.
I don't think I've got many. 2 or 3.
No, I think you got 2.
It's not looking great.
A perfectionist. That's part of my job.
That stinks of Jose.
It's Pep Guardiola.
This stinks. Has Pep really done that many interviews in his professional career?
Right, okay.
I feel like most of them could have been anybody. I'm not gonna lie. Unless you know the quote. None of them are sticking out to me.
I'm not afraid to lose my job, and when you're not afraid, you don't feel any pressure. You are not too worried. You can express yourself in a different way. It makes you better, I think.
I'm not going with Guardiola on this one. I feel like
he doesn't let his players express himself.
My gut feeling was Mourinho, but I'm not entirely convinced. I have just guessed him back to back as well, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to do it again.
That was Mourinho.
Yeah, to be fair, I thought that one was anyone bar Guardiola. I thought that could have been Klopp as well.
Okay. Sometimes you see beautiful people with no brains. Sometimes you have ugly people who are intelligent, like scientists.
I'm going to go with Jurgen Klopp.
Because it was a weird one.
Yeah.
It was Mourinho.
Oh my God. I feel like that's one that's got lost in translation or something. That doesn't make sense at all.
It is a weird one, that.
That is so weird.
Please don't call me arrogant, but I'm European champion. I think I'm the special one.
This one is Jurgen Klopp. Mourinho, obviously.
Okay, let's end it with this one then. Okay, one sec. I'm not a one-man show. I was never that in my life, and I never want to be that.
Let's go. Again, I don't know this at all. Let's go for Guardiola.
Jurgen Klopp.
Oh my God. That was so difficult.
It was hard.
I
wonder if
any of them were obvious.
Yeah.
Obviously the special one. A few of them had hints in there, but I even think they were misleading. I don't think any of them were easy.
I didn't make it obvious. I was just wondering, like, people playing along, I wonder if they got more than you then.
I don't know how many of them are that memorable.
No, it's just random ones, aren't they?
Do you know, like, how, like, Jose has loads of rants that you could probably take a tiny quote from and remember? Even Jurgen Klopp and Guardiola probably the same. And I feel like none of them were dead obvious to me, anyway.
I started laughing because I saw one, and I obviously got one, and it went, I am Jose Mourinho. I was like, no, you'll get that one.
I am blank.
Yeah. Right, okay.
I think I only got 3 or 4, I'm not going to lie. How many was out of? Like 10?
Yeah, it was a pretty shocking performance, that.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, it was hard, but it'd be interesting to see who got more, to be fair.
Some of you have got to done better than me. If you've actually done worse, I'd rather see you comment. I don't want to see you commenting if you've done better, so leave it out. I don't want to hear
you're lying. Okay, so we'll quickly just go into the game from the weekend.
Yeah.
So, Man United, we can start there. They got a 0-0 draw at Palace.
Yeah.
Personally, they should have won the game, but it's another game that they should have won, and they've dropped points there. But can you actually see an improvement with United this season?
I think it's tough to say. My gut feeling is I want to say yes across the board of the 5 Prem games. I mean, you can take what you want from that Barnsley 7-0. Everyone enjoys to see that, regardless of the fact the opposition's less. You want to see your team beating those calibre teams by a good margin. Brighton game, we lose. Arguably had good moments. Looked an improved setup to that of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Still with signings to sort of bed in. Liverpool was a pretty horrible performance all round, really. Southampton, not great, not terrible, but got the 3 points. I think Palace was the best that we've played all season with the chances that they created.
Yeah.
I don't even think we were like wasteful as such. It was like
the chances that weren't like clear cut.
Dean Henderson made a few good saves from the big chances.
Yeah.
Garnacho hit the bar, Bruno hit the bar with the follow up. I think when we made the substitutions later in the game, in hope of impacting and snatching the win, we actually look worse, which is a bit concerning.
That's what I will say. Like, obviously, you want your manager to read the game better, and his subs were completely wrong. Well, I think the best player on the pitch was Xerxes, and he takes him off.
Yeah, I think he left him on a bit longer, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken, I think Rashford was the first one to come on for Ahmad.
Yeah,
and Xerxes stayed on, and then I can only assume, is that right? Maybe I'm getting that wrong. Maybe at one point Xerxes come off and Rashford went into the middle and then went back out wide.
No, so Rashford actually came on for Xerxes.
Yeah, so at that point Rashford, I'm assuming, was playing the striker role.
He was, yeah, for a little bit.
And when he brought Højlund on, he pushed Rashford out wide.
Yeah.
And I can't really say in that time I noticed any difference that Rashford was able to make from the bench. Bit disheartened I'm not buying into this whole media speculation that everyone's, but this is just my take on it, because the media have gone into a frenzy about it. I think Marcus Rashford should start the game because we've seen him score against Southampton. Was it Southampton?
Yeah.
Scores against Southampton. Gets some goals and assists against Barnsley. I know it's Barnsley, but to the point where can you build a bit of momentum now, because he's not had that form of recent.
Yeah.
It's a chance to play him into form, and I don't know why you bench a player that you're trying to play into form. And I know Ahmad's been okay. Like, I've not had an issue with him. Garnacho's finally got a start. Looked like our best outlet in the game at Palace. So I think Rashford should have started. I didn't agree with Eriksen starting, but I actually, in retrospect, think it was a good decision. I thought Eriksen had a good game. We dominated the ball, so we could get the best out of Eriksen in terms of being able to make use of his Hollywood passes, and he made some good passes in behind. He kept the ball well. So I'll give credit to the manager there. Maybe people are calling out because they want to see Agate, but in a game where you're not necessarily going to dominate possession, is he as effective? Do you need to play him?
Yeah, I think the thing about Agate is he could still be effective in them games because he wins. He's so on the front foot and he wins the ball back, and it could help the attackers.
I think it's probably more a case of Eriksen had a good game out. This is probably a good game to play him again.
Yeah, I said to you, then I was like, obviously we look defensively solid. I thought Mazraoui's been fantastic ever since joining. I actually made the point to you where like, I'm not saying drop Fernandez, but I'm saying like maybe it is worth to give him a rest and see if he comes back a different player, just because it's not quite at it at the minute. And I did make a suggestion to you that why not try Xerxes and Højlund, just because Højlund's back now and Xerxes plays almost as like a false nine anyway, so it might be interesting to see what they're like up there. And he does play the 4-2-2-2 now as a pressing thing, so it could be worth it.
I could see him maybe trying it in a game, but I think the biggest issue for Erik ten Hag is, you saw, even though we rotated players against Barnsley, we still played a very strong side. I think we'll do the same on Wednesday in the Europa League. I think there'll be rotation, but it'll be a very strong team, because I think he realistically wants to win trophies every season. So I don't think he'll go lightweight in any competition.
No, I think he's definitely going to go for the Europa League this season, because he's got both cups now.
Yeah.
If he gets Europa League, I mean, you can't really slate him.
Well, especially how's our league position going to look like? What's our league position going to look like at the end of the season? If the 5 games, you can't really go off 5 games, but let's say you do right now, we're probably not going to finish in the top 4 based on what we've seen so far. It'd be difficult based on how the other teams have also performed. So the Europa League gives you that chance.
Stats are showing that they're improving on like maybe shots at our goal. Remember when last season we was having like so many shots at our goal, and the stats have proved that we have like sussed that out. But we still look leggy in midfield though.
But you've got to say there, that's based on 5 games worth of data, and we've only played one very good team in that time in Liverpool. And I'm not disrespecting any of the other teams. Brighton and Palace are good teams in their own right. Fulham and Southampton should be getting beat by the majority of the teams in our situation. But to have that metric as being improved at the moment, I don't think is anything to go off. And we're also leading the table for most big chances missed, which is a telling sign of where we're at the moment, to be honest with you. I think that's our biggest concern.
Do you know what I want to say about this is, this isn't just... Do you know when you look at them stats and it's like loads of people are so lazy with this and they go, that's why you should bring in a striker that can score. That's not the case, right? Or maybe Garnacho needs to be dropped for a more clinical winger. It's not the case, because the chances we get and the way Ten Hag plays, Ten Hag wants to press and make his chances from the press, right? Yeah. It's not actually creating So I don't think we get a lot of clear-cut chances the way we play. I think it's very harsh if you go off stats and say, oh, whether the most like chances missed or something like that, because the chances we're missing aren't exactly like, you don't look at them and go, should be scoring there. Like when Garnacho at the crossbar, it's not like he should be scoring.
A relatively difficult chance where he's made very good effort of it. I still think maybe, this isn't the most impressive take by any means, but I still think when I'm watching United, like you say there, we probably have more chances still on the counter from the press and very quick. Like, what I don't see is from defence to midfield to strikers, the wingers, the transition is still very slow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's changed with the personnel we've brought in. I still think there's too many touches on the ball. When you want it to be 1 pass, it's 2 or 3 passes.
Centre-backs are walking.
Your chances to make opportunities of the space being exploited is gone.
Yeah.
And I think that's why when we counter-attack, it's different, because it's one ball out, you're on the run, you're in.
That's what I mean. That I actually think it's Ten Hag's system.
The build-up's far too slow, and that doesn't appear to change
that's system
with who we have.
Yeah.
You could watch Maguire and go, because he's quite slow on the ball.
Yeah.
You go, oh, he's slowing it down. But the rest of them play like that.
Yeah.
I know Martinez can break the lines with a pass. Delict's probably got that in his locker as well. I've not seen too much of him just yet in United shirt. But
Martinez were walking.
I think from defence to midfield to that point, we pass it okay at times, but it's still too slow for me. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we have. Like, we look threatening in gate. Barnsley, we could do it because they're shit.
Yeah.
We can pass it round them because we're miles better than a League One side, as we should be. And don't get me wrong, maybe we're not even miles better than them because they were horrible on the day. I'm sure they're much better than what they showed at Old Trafford. But only time will tell. There is still players bedding in. It's frustrating because, you see other big teams and they make signings and they bed in straight away. And we get this. It's a process. It takes time, blah, 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 blah. Whether it's off the pitch, on the pitch.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be the case for half the other teams we watch, but
I don't think it's necessarily all that. I literally think it's a system. I don't think the chances we create are clear cut. So what I will say is I'll go on to like Liverpool now because I watched them, right? We've all seen the goals.
Yeah.
They did counter attacks on some of these goals, right? But there was clear cut chances. So like I saw when Trent picked up the ball, he cut inside, he waited for the right moment and then played Diaz through, and Diaz like slotted it in. That's a clear cut chance that you see. I can't remember it the last time we got a chance like that.
I think there's a lot of chances. We've said chances an awful lot. Where I've seen it in recent games where I'm not rating Bruno, I would never really slate Bruno, but where there's that moment to play the killer pass and he's not the passing right. Eriksen's done a couple as well, and they've got a few of them right as well. But you know where you've got that one moment where the attacker's timed the run, so he's not offside. You've got to play the ball first time under pressure, and the ball isn't right, or it's not good enough, or it's got too much on it. And I don't think our final ball has been good enough. But then again, we've got the most big chances missed. So what does that say?
Yeah.
So
like I say, the
maybe
stats are saying that, but I just think it's a bit misleading.
Well, I think a lot of them, if you actually looked at what those big chances are, and most of the ones that have fell to Xerxes in the box where he's stretching, and you could argue, does he time the run differently? Does he get a better purchase on it? Then it's a goal. But it's not like we've had chances on the 6-yard box and put it over the bar, or put it at the goalkeeper, or most of them have been still difficult ones to take.
Yeah, I don't even know what classes as a big chance anymore, to be honest.
To me, it must be somewhere in the area when you've pretty much got a one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper, whether that's, a flashed across the box, whether you've got him behind.
I don't know this, but does that Garnacho crossbar, does that count as a big chance? Because it shouldn't.
I reckon so, because I reckon even though he's under pressure, he's got a chance on goal with just the keeper to beat.
Yeah.
I know the angle's difficult. But yeah, I reckon that probably counts as one. Okay. Bruno probably counts as one with the follow through, and that's again a hard chance.
Yeah. Well, what I will say is obviously Liverpool did look quite dominating in their game.
Back to winning ways after disappointing loss for them at home.
I did call for a reaction, and he's done it.
For 4 out of 5 games, they've kept clean sheets now.
Yeah.
So defensively as well, they look really solid with Konate and Van Dijk in there.
Konate and Van Dijk are up there. I think it's got to be close, hasn't it, with the Saliba, Gabriel and Konate, Van Dijk. I think there's a very good partnerships.
I think it's a very good partnership. I
think you're seeing a lot of good partnerships. I'd go as far as saying like Romero and Van der Ven, even though I don't rate Romero, they're good.
Yeah, they work well together, and I think they could be better than they are as well. And
maybe there's potential for Martinez and De Ligt as well. Like, there's some good partnerships.
We can only hope, but I don't want to go too early on that. I think Konate, if he can stay fit and maintain these performances, is a great addition. I know Liverpool have had him for a while now, but I feel like they've never been able to just keep him fit and in the 11.
Yeah.
There's always been something that's kind of pulled him out of the team.
He is really good, and when you've got I don't know how tall he is, but Van Dijk's quite tall, Konate is really tall as well. When you've got them two and you're like, I've got to get past them. It's like a freaking brick wall, isn't it? So, but Diaz shone that game, got 2 goals.
Yep.
Darwin Núñez with an amazing finish, to be honest, with his left foot.
That is just Darwin Núñez things, isn't it? I was talking to Tom about it.
Hard ones.
Tom Priest, and he was saying, that is what he does from a Liverpool fan's perspective is you get fed up of seeing him miss these chances being wasteful, and then he draws you in by doing something like that. And it's bang on the money, really. We've seen him, Newcastle last year, comes on, wins the game at Newcastle away. He's got it in his locker, but then some of these easy chances, he's still not being as clinical as what people want. Well, that's a fantastic goal. He wins the header to set the counter.
It was brilliant as well.
Impressive,
the one thing I will say, what has changed with Liverpool, I think they're more calmer going forward, so that might benefit Núñez.
He's very erratic, isn't he?
Yeah, but it might, when he was going through on goal and all the chances created from Klopp was very they always say it was headbanging football, didn't they?
Yeah.
But I think there's a bit more calmness when going forward now, so it might benefit him, and we'll see.
But yeah, I think really good start from them. Wasn't expecting, I know Klopp didn't leave them in a terrible position. They still had a fantastic side. They didn't make many signings, if any. They signed that goalkeeper, didn't they?
Yeah.
But under the new manager, really, really strong start. Look solid from front to back. Yeah. I know they've had that little blip against Forest, but I mean, if you take that result in isolation, they still dominated that game. So I think Liverpool, going to do a lot better than I thought going into the season, to be honest.
Yeah. I think most of the results, you'd probably say the favourite won. You've got Chelsea winning at West Ham.
Impressive 3-0. Jackson with 2 goals.
Yeah.
Palmer with the other, is it?
There was a sub made from West Ham boss in the 38th minute, so he definitely wasn't happy. It was with the new signing midfielder Rodriguez, brought Souček on, so he definitely wasn't happy with that. Aston Villa obviously won at Wolves. Fulham beat Newcastle. I wouldn't really say that, but they're playing all right. Fulham are.
That probably was an I think Newcastle, even though it's at Fulham, you'd say Newcastle probably favourites for that one.
They haven't looked great though, have they? Newcastle
not started
this season.
the best, no. Eddie Howe's got an eye on that England job. That's all I'm saying.
I think so. Tottenham beat Brentford. Brentford with another early goal.
Yeah,
the same 22 seconds, the same as City.
Was that in Burmo this time though? It was
in Burmo this time.
Yeah.
So obviously we had Brighton and Nottingham Forest. They both haven't lost a game yet this season. They drew 2-2. Chris Wood again, and I'm sure people are looking at him for fantasy.
Yeah, he's really stat padding. I'm not sure if he'll maintain this all season long, but he's got some goals early on.
But if you remember, towards the end of last season, he was getting goals.
I think he's a relatively solid striker, but it can't be easy in a team like that. No. I mean, mind you, they've looked marginally better, and I was calling in my pre-season predictions that Nuno would be first manager sacked. Just didn't really see a lot. I didn't expect a lot from Forest, and I think they've started very well for a team that probably still will realistically finish not that much above relegation. I know that's a bit bold to call now. It's a very good start. Gives them a lot of breathing room already.
I think we both had them in relegation, didn't we? So
I find it hard with the other teams in the league. Are they going to do anything better than 15th, 16th? It's difficult, isn't it?
So finally, we did have City v Arsenal.
The blockbuster game.
Yeah, you thought Arsenal would have won this if not for the red card.
I think it's very hard. It's very bold to say that when Arsenal have had multiple attempts to beat City when they've been in good form. Arsenal have been in good form. Obviously, it's very difficult to go to the Etihad. But when they got the goal and went ahead, I do think they could have done it. When it's easy to say when they're ahead, but we'll never know. I think the red card from a neutral point of view. I've got no love for City or Arsenal at all. It's not like I'd rather Arsenal win. I dislike both teams equally, really. I think the red card from a neutral spectator point of view just ruined the game because it put it into a point where the second half was either going to be pure domination from City and they got 2-3 goals and ran away with it, or Arsenal try and do exactly what they did do and hold out for as long as possible and see what they can get. And unfortunately, it was the way it went. That was the way it went. I don't think City were really at the races either, considering I'll still give Arsenal their credit because I think they defended really well against a good team, fantastic team. But I don't think City, getting to the edge of the box, they've got all men behind the ball, centre halves passing it on the edge of the area, no one pulling the trigger. They finally pull the trigger. It's a shit shot from Ruben Diaz going into Rosette. That is not Manchester City. And I know it's not easy to break down a defence as good as Arsenal's, but they had a man advantage in a half to do it. And I don't think City were quite at their best either.
Oh, is there a risk of overrating this Arsenal defence just purely because they are defending with 11 men, and that obviously helps? If I was a centre-back in Arsenal team, it would help. I think if you had all the team defending, but I'm not diminishing it or anything.
I think potentially there's a chance that it could become that they've had so much smoke blown up their arse that they do become a bit overrated.
I was just saying because Micah Richards obviously said these two centre-backs are amazing, bigging them up and everything, and Roy Keane went, well, they did concede too.
Yeah, but
but we're blowing smoke up their arse, like you say.
The best partnerships of all time have conceded 2 in games. I think Gabriel and Saliba is the best partnership in the league at the moment. I think that's comfortable to say. I know you've got Liverpool.
I think Van Dijk and Kanate are.
I don't think they're better than Gabriel and Saliba.
Well, they've had more clean sheets, so what do you go off?
So far.
Yeah.
But, have they had easier games, more difficult games? They lost to Forest at home.
Yeah.
I think, in terms of how they work together, their individual strengths, well, time will tell. I think it's too early to go on Van Dijk and Kanate for me at the moment. I've seen it for a season or two with Gabriel and Saliba, where I think, in terms of a partnership, I think they've been the best.
I think it's a prime example of social media working in your favour. Because I think them two will start believing the hype, and that's just going to give them confidence. I think it is actually good. Do you know, like, everyone always slams social media for certain things, which I agree. But I said to you, didn't I? I was like, I'm making a New Year's resolution that I don't want to give players like shite on air. I
don't think we do it too much anyway. We maybe critique, not like our reach is crazy anyway, but not like we critique decisions and question things and talk about it.
It's just
we don't
a fan's perspective, innit?
Yeah, but we don't often like absolutely slam performances. I don't think.
No,
maybe we do. I don't know.
But I mean, if you put yourself in the shoes of like professional footballers and you go home, you have a look at the internet. Obviously, they all do because they all complain about it most of the time, don't they? But if you're seeing on Sky Sports, you maybe watch it. Gabriel's gone home and he watches it on repeat or something, or Sky Sports clips, and it's like Micah Richards going, "These two are absolutely amazing." It gets in your head and your confidence goes sky high, and I think it's great. But say it works the other way, doesn't it? If like Micah Richards goes, "These two were so bad today," it goes in your head. So, I mean, everyone slams social media when it goes bad, and it's like not giving players confidence, but it's actually going well for them.
But I think the best players have just got to ignore it, whether it's positive or negative. I think we've seen examples of it for Manchester United, where a player has a nice streak of form, Rashford. And I think it maybe affects it. We'll never actually know, because we don't know the players. They might not know that it's affected him in that way. Well, Very difficult to measure.
I didn't actually think it was such a big thing, because me as a player, I probably wouldn't even pay attention to it, like you say. But you've had people come out recently saying like, "Yeah, stop giving shit." Like Rashford obviously did his agent, or Rashford actually came out and said like, "Yeah, you're just hammering me for no reason." Well, it was for performances, wasn't it? But I didn't actually think they listened to it.
Well, I think as well. You look midweek. Brennan Johnson deleted all of his socials.
I don't like seeing that, because it is quite bad.
Gets a goal on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, that's the mentality. It's the mentality. For me, it's part and parcel of it. It's sad that it gets as aggressive as it is in some ways, and we're all football fans, and we can appreciate the way you feel about your team. You always have
the weird guys, though, don't you? That take it too far.
Yeah, and I don't think, there's certain. It's hard to say, isn't it? There's certain things you can say where you could be fuming about it, and you just chat about your mates to it, like, "I can't believe they missed that," blah blah blah. And there's people that go on the internet and fucking absolutely hammer them for it. And it's two worlds, really. I don't see what you're gaining. Sure, if you've got a voice and you want to voice it, go for it. But if it's abuse, that ain't free speech. That's just abuse.
Yeah. Like, obviously, you get people on Twitter that are just pure abuse.
Yeah, and a lot of them are probably kids, to be honest, like teenagers and even younger.
If you're a fan, like, observing the game and take these are your takes away from the game, it's fine, isn't it? If someone hasn't performed and they're saying this, it's fine. But yeah, I think this day and age, you just got to learn to get.
It's part of it now.
With it, aren't you?
Yeah, it's part of it now. And the players back then didn't have to deal with it. I mean, they had the media in the same way, but it's not as blindingly obvious.
The media alone's quite bad, isn't it?
So, yeah, it certainly can be, yeah.
Yeah, the press and that. Well, that's all the games that we've been through. Obviously, we've got midweek games when you're hearing this anyway.
Yes.
Obviously,
Cup games.
Yeah, when you're hearing about it, obviously United are in the Europa League. What did you make of Europa League and Champions League's now getting played on Thursday, Wednesdays and stuff? Because Champions League was on Thursday as well, wasn't it?
I think great from my point of view in terms of as a Manchester United fan, and also my personal schedule in life. We play football on a Thursday night. That always then comes in a contrast with our football if we're in Europa League, which in the last
but now it comes with Champions League as well.
It does, but I would still always watch my team, regardless of what competition we're in, over Champions League. As a neutral, sure, I'll watch Champions League if it's on. But if Manchester United are playing a friendly in Kazakhstan, I'll watch that first.
Yeah,
because it's my team.
The fun fact we'll bring out again is United actually had more in attendance for Barnsley.
Oh, you mean more people on telly, watching on telly?
No, in the ground.
Oh, because City were at home as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because United and City was at home, but they was on different days. I thought
everyone was on about viewing figures online. I didn't know.
No, it was obviously we had more in attendance for our game against Barnsley than City did against Inter Milan.
I mean, I'm not sure if I believe it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, I'm not sure if I believe it.
I'll take it, but only based on what I saw on the TV. And I think United could be declaring some season ticket holders that didn't turn up there. But if I would have been there, I was expecting it to be one of the worst attendances I'd seen, based on the way that the tickets are now handled by the club.
Well, I don't blame people anyway, because it's midweek.
But
We've
I
all
think
got
you should
lives.
always.
Like,
I do. Yeah, I agree with that. But I do think you should always make the conscious effort to try and even give it to a friend. You don't have to try and make your money back. Like if you can't go, I'm sure there's someone that will want to go to Old Trafford. But we won't delve into that now. But United have made that very, very difficult now. We can do a full episode on that one day if you want. The perils of attending Manchester United in 2024.
How life peaks when you have a mushy pea pie on Pie of the Day.
Yeah, if you know, you know. I mean, I don't know if any other clubs do mushy pea pie.
Did you ever try it?
Oh, I've had it once. I feel like you've had it more times than me.
Well, no, I think I've had it twice, but I just love it that much. I go on about it all the time.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's exactly what it says on the tin. It is a pie with mushy peas and gravy.
Any shops out there, you're onto a winner. If you make a mushy pea pie, I don't know, like
Greg's, get it done.
Get it done. You'll make fortune.
You can give us a bit of the money, for the idea, because I'm sure this video will reach Greg's.
Actually, don't. I'm going to bring it out myself.
Is that going to be your golden absolute thing? That could take the podcast to the moon.
Mushy pea bowers.
No, I don't think that's it.
No, what is it? What shall we put?
I'll just call it mushy pea pie, to be honest.
It's got to have my name. Come on.
Like, you could just Bowers' pies. Like, they just be like, you got Greg's, it's Bowers. We'll have the same branding, the blue and orange lettering.
Yeah.
The Greg's just says Bowers.
I'll be like the Aldi, where it just like does knock off names on it. Have you ever gone through it?
They do sausage rolls. We do rolls of sausage.
That is Aldi all over. That is
steak bake. We do baked steak. Same colours, everything. In fact, we'll flip it. So you know how they got the blue background with the orange writing. We'll have the orange background with the blue writing, and it'll be Bowers's.
Let's do that.
And we'll be on every high street in the country selling mushy pea pies.
Right,
we'll get off that anyway.
There must be a place that does them anyway. Right, did we want to go on to this next segment then?
Yeah, I've got some underrated or overrated for you here. You guys can weigh in at home. We'll give fairly rated and properly rated a shout too, because I feel like underrated, overrated sometimes too. Maybe that's what people like about it.
So if I actually think it's fairly rated, she'll just put fairly rated.
Fairly rated, yeah. Okay. So you don't have to. I mean,
I agree with it.
Might be a bit of a cop out, but like, yeah, you'll see when we get into them. I'll
try and not do it.
Yeah, I'll pull up my list here. So I've got a few here that are like specific things within football, and a few of them are players. So you can say whether you think that player's underrated, overrated, or rated fairly, basically. So we'll start with the things that are more general to football: underrated, overrated, properly rated. Join in if you're listening or, watching, all that good stuff. So the first one is, we have actually just been talking about it, the Europa League. Is it overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
I said that I wasn't going to do a cop-out, but I think it is fairly rated.
Yeah.
It's not underrated, it's not overrated, it's just where it is.
I think it's, it is Europe's second competition. Yeah. A lot of people sort of boo-hoo to it. I think this is one where it's potentially underrated, depending on the size of your club. Like, if you support, like, Brighton being it, well, maybe they're in the conference, but you know what I mean? Like, Brighton, Villa, West Ham, like, maybe that's a bit disrespectful because I'm sure Villa are
I think it's been made
Cup.
Better now. It's got a conference underneath it.
And I think also the fact that now the teams don't drop into it from the Champions League gives it its own sense of prestige. Like, it's still not the best competition, but it's not like now you get all these shit teams that couldn't win their games in Champions League get dropped into it.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Okay, next one. Celebrating against your former club.
Underrated, overrated. Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like this is quite polarising in opinion.
Yeah, I don't know if it is underrated or overrated. So celebrating against your former club.
Yeah, because in some instances, this could be you played a couple of games for him. This could be you played hundreds of games for him.
Can we specify that then?
No, I'll let you take a general stance at this.
Well, I don't know what side it is. I don't know if it's overrated or whatever. But I'd say that because it changes. If you've played at United for 5 years and you've won the Premier League twice, and then you go and move to Spurs, I wouldn't celebrate against United. But if I've played for a club for 2 years, won fuck all.
No, but based on just a player doing it, what's your take? I'm not saying you would or wouldn't do it. What do you think?
Underrated, because I love it.
Yeah, I think it's underrated.
Because the Adebayor was fucking amazing.
I think even if it happens against you and you're actually livid, the fact it makes you that angry shows how powerful it is. Like, you'd be fuming, and I'd very much hope that your players that have played for you don't do it.
I want to see more of it.
But from a neutral point of view as well, if it doesn't affect your team, it's well underrated.
It's funny because I want to see more of it, but I wouldn't do it personally. It depends. It all depends on that stuff.
Yeah, circumstantial. That's
Yeah.
quite difficult. Okay. Underrated, overrated, or properly rated, playing out from the back.
Overrated, mate.
Go
You
back to
knew that was
4-4
coming.
fucking 2.
Yeah, honestly. I even got FM, play it with like my cousin and that, and I guess what formation I am.
4-4 fucking 2.
And I'm Fulham, and I'm third.
That's where you know
2029.
That's where you know you're living in dreamland, because that's never happening, is it?
Well, we're only 8 games in, so
20, Fulham fans, 2029, you might be in a top 4 race playing 4-4-2
I'll take my badges now and then.
with Liam Bowers as manager.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, to be honest.
I've got Joe Bellingham and Archer up top.
Cameron Archer.
Joe Bellingham, the deep line forward that comes and plays inside, like a Rooney. He's
You're
my
giving
Rooney.
people your tactics now. They're going to run.
Oh,
this
shit,
Fulham
shit,
job is
shit.
not going to be available for you at this rate.
Someone, Marco Silva's going to steal it.
Yeah, if you're watching, Marco, you can credit Bowers with that one. Okay, I feel like I know what this one's going to be, but I'm throwing it out there. Underrated, overrated, or properly rated, Leicester City's title win in 2016.
I think it's underrated.
It's got to be underrated. I don't feel like it's talked about enough.
No, it's not. And people say, I've seen podcasts online, like random ones saying like, oh, it's overrated. This is, no, it's not.
I don't, the fact that, to me, like, look at this season, right? I know City have won 4 on the bounce or whatever, and Arsenal have been very close. But and I know the circumstances are important, but let's say this year that Spurs went and won the league. Everyone would be like, oh my God, I can't believe Spurs have won the league. Not just because it's Spurs, but like someone with an outside chance. This wasn't even someone with an outside chance. This is someone that you're expecting to finish probably just above relegation.
I think Arsenal winning the league now would probably be talked about more than Leicester winning it.
Yeah, you're probably right. I know it's a bit in the past now, 2016, a bit of time's elapsed, but the fact a
That was
team like
unreal.
that went and I know you look at the points tallies and a lot of the
Do you
big
know they
teams didn't
just
play as well.
escaped
and
relegation the season before?
It's honestly, it's unbelievable. And look at how good some of the players went on to be. That,
Yeah.
Jamie Vardy's still there. What a credit to him. Like, cult hero, club legend.
It has to
surely
be
for them.
underrated just purely the fact they had Robert Hoof and Wes Morgan at centre back.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I love it. I
Yeah,
think it's one of
underrated.
the very few Premier League wins in my lifetime where the majority of football fans in our like area, because obviously Leicester's not really anywhere near us lot, are like, oh my God, I hope they go and do it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, we'd never be saying that about most clubs.
Yeah, I don't think we would be saying it if we was near the top anyway. But
Got a bit of hair on me mic. But yeah, okay, I agree with you. This one's quite difficult, I think, and we've kind of discussed it in the past, but let's go for it anyway. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated, Gareth Southgate's England tenure. Now, this one's probably more personal, and it all, to your opinion, and also depends really, what do we see next could change your opinion. But right now...
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
If you had someone come in now, say Lee Carsley, and he starts playing how we all think it could have been, then you'd probably go overrated or properly rated or something. But at the moment, I'm going to say underrated, just purely because he's done more than most.
Yeah, I think it's...
More than anyone, really, apart from obviously the win back in...
I think I sit underrated or fairly rated.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Because I think he gets his critique, and it's probably deserved a little bit.
For the defensiveness.
But at the same time, like you said, we've done so much better than we had done previously.
Well, what I will ask you, actually, because it was defensive, and obviously we didn't play the way we should, if we had Mourinho as the manager, they played the same way, we wouldn't be giving the shit.
I think we would have won 2 trophies, that's why.
No,
because I think
he
has...
Let's hypothetically say Mourinho
had the exact same performance.
Yeah, we wouldn't be slating him.
I think people would, actually. I think maybe tarring him with a different brush, but in my opinion, if you have Jose Mourinho in those big, big games, he knows how to
play the system.
He knows what decisions to make. He's one of the best managers of all time for winning a one-off match.
Yeah.
He can shitbag it all the way through and win.
We said a while ago, like, who's the one manager you want to manage the one-off match and you had to win or else you die, it's Mourinho.
I think it is, from what I've seen in my lifetime. You know, the way he manages to get
it has
results.
to be prime Mourinho.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Even I just think his ability to read big games, tactically set up for them. You even saw it in his time at Spurs, getting results over City and stuff at the
he
time.
probably would have won them a cup, wouldn't he? But
Yeah, but stupid. It's like they don't want to win trophies. But anyway, we'll move on.
What did I say for that? Underrated or fairly, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I've got 5 here that are players. 2 of these are more forward-thinking players, and the other 3 are all centre-backs. It's like a underrated, overrated centre-back special to end with. So we'll go for the players first. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated, Neymar.
Underrated.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. The prince that never became king, as they call him.
He was... Like, if he stayed at Barca, mate, oh my... The things... He was, like, at one point, he was... Right, so when when it was that famous game, the comeback versus PSG, Neymar was the reason. He scored that last minute free kick, and then he assisted the last minute goal. Like, Neymar was
unplayable
unreal
on his day.
Yeah, unreal.
I think he is probably, because obviously we're a bit older.
He's third best player.
He's probably some kids' generation's Ronaldinho.
Yeah,
you know, skillful. He was coming up, and everybody loved him. He had a big move. He won a lot of trophies. I think it did go, unfortunately for him, in that he never managed to get the Ballon d'Or because of Messi and Ronaldo, despite him playing at a stupidly high level.
I think it was his poor decision making though. Moving to PSG killed it. Obviously, it didn't work out for him. I don't know what was going through his head with that one, because anyone that isn't a footballer can clearly see, don't go PSG, but maybe his ego was like, I can win them a Champions League here.
I think he thought...
And he nearly did, to be fair, in COVID.
I think realistically, his best chance at a Ballon d'Or outside of La Liga was in the Premier League.
Yeah, yeah.
And we never got to see him coming.
No, I would have loved to see him. There was rumours, but... Like, to be fair, saying that it was a poor decision, he nearly got PSG the Champions League.
Well, they did get to a final, didn't they?
I remember when they got beat by Bayern. We watched it at yours, actually. And Neymar, that whole tournament was unplayable. He was unreal. He hit the crossbar in that game, I remember seeing. But, yeah, underrated.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a shame the way his career did go in terms of not managing... I mean, even with Messi at PSG, not managing to get that key silverware that they were after in the Champions League. But I think that then disrespects what he achieved in his career before that and the heights he was playing at. So
yeah,
I would agree. Back to England then. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated? Harry Kane. More difficult, this one, I think. Overall, not just for England, but England theme there.
Fairly.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because there is people that are in this
I know there's
Harry
people,
Kane hating corner.
Yeah, but it's not... I don't see enough of that to say it's underrated.
I do for England. I think there's a lot online too when it comes to England performances.
I never really see it.
Especially in this last tournament.
So this is what...
Maybe last 2 tournaments. Actually.
Yeah, this is what gets me with this Harry Kane thing, right? All his career, and I mean, ever since he came through, he's always dropped back. And we said that we love that about him, right? I don't get these people that are going, he needs to stay up top, he needs to stay up top. He stayed up top in one of the games in the Euros, right? And it's the worst I've ever seen him.
You couldn't
get him in the game.
I think it's hard to ask a player to play like that when they do not play like that.
That's like asking Rooney to stay up top and he hated it. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Even more in the latter stages of his career. He was even less mobile.
The thing is, it's not a bad thing if a striker drops back. Because you can... That's why people were calling for Gordon, because he's direct.
But
and that's why...
Me and you I won't get into it too much, but we've discussed it in the pod earlier in the year when the Euros was on, that I think a lot of it came into... Kane thrives with fast wingers.
Yes.
And we didn't play like that.
No, we played like Foden, like even...
We played with 10s all over the pitch.
Yeah.
And look at him for Bayern. Bagging goals, even after that tournament where people question his form, where he's got fast wide players firing it in the box for him.
Even under Lee Carsley now, he's playing fast wide players and he's getting goals.
And I think that's where you can make the argument. People look at it and go, he should stay up. And I'm like, okay, but we're not playing a system that accommodates chances for him playing like that.
No.
He's had his biggest successes for England, in my opinion, with Rashford and Sterling and those kinds of players running in the channels and playing the ball in the box.
That's why we said, even though Rashford had a shocker of a season, he should have been taken because he offered something different.
Yeah.
And we kind of accepted it.
Even Sterling. It wasn't a United bias, it was the type of player.
Well, remember when Sterling had an amazing tournament because he was direct. He's like a direct player. That's why we kind of agreed with Gordon going because he was direct, but he didn't even get used. So
yeah. But no, I do think he's still quite a polarising player, Harry Kane. For some reason, he can't win some people over.
No, I'd say fairly, just because I haven't seen that abuse.
Yeah,
that
there's probably an equal
level.
Seen
more, yeah.
So, to round it off then, I've got 3 centre-backs. We'll do a centre-back, overrated, underrated special. Let's go for it. Overrated, underrated, properly rated, Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool fans, close your ears and eyes. Or he might be about to make you happy, I don't know. I don't know what he's... I can't read him.
You can't read me.
I can't read him.
No, I need to think about this one. Just give me a sec.
On the whole, I suppose, I guess you've just got to look at it from what you've seen overall from that man so far in his career.
Fairly. Because I don't see many people saying he's amazing
it's
he's
only
shit.
A certain portion of Liverpool fans that literally put him in an all-time conversation. That is a thing, but it's not a wide-scale thing.
Well, I'm not going to tell you because I think we're going to do this in some point in the future on this pod, our all-time Premier League 11. But I will say, just purely on prime players, not what they've won over time. And I'll say, I won't give it away, but I'll say he's definitely in that conversation of being in my team.
He's in the conversation, but I would already put him, spoiler alert, he'd be in an honourable mentions list. If you put him in what he's won, he don't get near it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. On the player itself.
Prime, he's up there, but he probably still doesn't get in.
See, I don't agree with that with you. So if I saw more people saying like what you're saying there, I'd say underrated. I just think he's fairly rated. I don't see him getting...
I think there's a lot of people, the Liverpool fans, obviously, because he's their player, and they've seen the heights that he performs to, gas him to the top of the top, and then you get other people saying, well, he's not quite that good, but he is good. I think the middle ground is probably correct.
What I will say, there's not many centre-backs better than him over the last 10 years, and I think any team in the world would love to have him in the team.
Now.
So, who?
Even now?
Yeah, I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Oh, at United we would, yeah, but in general, like...
I think Real Madrid take him, Barcelona take him, name a bigger team, Bayern take him.
At 34?
Definitely, mate. He's still doing it. And even that aura thing is real as well. Like, just him being there, it's like so calm, and it's like you don't even need to make an effort for a tackle.
Can't tackle people with your aura, though.
He can. Fairly rated for me. He's brilliant. Love him. I won't say love him, actually. I need to stop saying
Cut that out, God. Okay, second centre-back of the 3. Underrated, overrated, or properly rated, David Luiz. Obviously a player that I don't think is playing anymore. Sure, he must have retired by now. If he's playing, I don't know where he's playing.
Overrated.
Oh, stinky.
He weren't great at defending, let's be honest.
I think at heights in his career he was. I think it was very like that.
Yeah, he was like, one game he could have a worldie, and the next game he's making 2 mistakes.
But I think his peaks were quite high. He was a shit house. I think he was a very polarising player. He's bagging free kicks.
He was different, and that's what I like.
He had his own free kick technique.
Yeah, true.
He was definitely sort of like a memorable player.
Yeah. Oh, definitely like...
overrated.
You love seeing them players, but yeah, I don't think he was good as what people say he was.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, at PSG, what's really going on over there? I thought he was good in the Prem.
That's what I'm going
on the whole. I think he was pretty good on the whole.
Yeah.
I think he was more good than bad. Anyway,
I remember that famous Suarez goal, and do you know where he celebrated? He was like R2D2. You seen that? And he makes David Luiz for that.
I'll never forget when he dived against United and was smiling. Didn't we get a red card?
Oh, wait, David Luiz. Yeah.
Corner flag.
Yeah.
Shit house, mate.
That's what
Sideshow
I mean,
Bob. You're overrated according to Liam Bowers.
You're overrated.
Okay, let's end it then on this big boy. Centre back, overrated, underrated, or properly rated. Harry Maguire. Picked another polarising one. I think all the centre halves were pretty. People have quite split opinions on them all, I think. You don't have to be afraid to upset me here. You go with what you think.
I'm not afraid to upset you here.
Oh, yeah. It's not.
Because I went through a good 2 seasons of really, really
There's lots of things here, isn't there? You've got the price tag, you've got the performances, you've got England performances, you've got his career previous to Manchester United. Everything is sort of all if you try and assess it all in one.
It's properly rated for me.
I think it's very difficult for me, this one. Because
I mean, the amount of abuse he gets is not what I'm saying is good. Like, you shouldn't do that. Maybe that got to his head and that comes into a lot of factors. Me saying fairly is probably, I think it might be under just because of the amount of abuse he gets.
I think it's closer to middle or lower than over. I
Yes,
think people would say,
he's not overrated,
people would turn around and say overrated based on the fact that you paid 80 million for him. But that was at that time after a tournament, before he'd had any horror performances like he had in his career later than that.
English tax as well.
And I think you look at, so by that tenure you could say overrated, but I think it's underrated because I don't think many people actually rate him.
No, that's what I mean, yeah.
I think a small portion of the United fan base
Yeah.
and some people that are hardcore England fans probably go, he's not as bad as you know.
He's not as bad as people make it out. And I'd obviously say, because of the abuse he gets and got during that time, it probably puts him in the underrated category.
Does a
just
job
because of that.
Does a job for us more time than he doesn't. And I think I've seen him have some games and I go, one of the best players today.
Yeah, but I don't think he's obviously he was good enough to maybe play for us for as long as he has. I think he should have gone a lot longer.
I think the money made that hard, didn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, it probably goes into underrated. I don't personally. I wouldn't have him at my club if I was the manager, but I think it goes into underrated because of the abuse he got, yeah.
I like it. As long as he didn't go in over, I was pretty happy, so we move.
I don't think anyone really rates him to go into over, so.
Okay, well, that's all the overrated, underrated, and properly rated. That's a lot harder to say than just overrated or underrated, but, you know, it's too hard to just place one over.
Yeah, there was some hard ones, so I couldn't really get them out there.
So let us know what you guys think if you're watching along. Obviously, if you're listening, just drop us a DM if you feel so inclined.
Yeah.
If you're watching along on any sort of way, if you're on YouTube or whatever, you'll have to just picture this. Maybe we'll edit it in, maybe we won't. We don't know what our time frame's going to look like.
Guessing.
But I am going to show Bowers a series of pictures here in the theme of EAFC being launched. No partnership there, unfortunately for us. It could have been free FIFA points, but, you know, EA, if you're watching, hit us up. We're a huge podcast in this industry. But it was on pre-release. Obviously, if you're listening on Wednesday or this week, it drops officially on Friday. So I had an idea for Bowers, because he doesn't play it as much as he used to. Might be a cool little segment to show him some of the Ultimate Team cards for a number of the Premier League players and see if he can guess who they are.
I used to be professional, by the way.
It's not true.
I used to have a good name for myself on FIFA.
Maybe we'll play at one point on the channel and we'll put that to the test. But I'm going to send you these pictures one at a time. It's got the stats, it's got the position.
Oh, he's sending them,
and it's got the rating. It doesn't tell. They're all Premier League players for clarity, but it doesn't tell you nationality, nothing else. So you'll have to make your best guess on that.
Okay, so when the pod comes out, we will have them on the screen then. Cause
there you go.
Yeah.
So for clarity, I'll read it out though for those that are listening along. You can maybe have a go at guessing it. So I'll send you your first one now. And before you have a guess, let me just read this out to the listeners. And if you're watching, you can see it on screen now.
Oh, so we'll get the rating as well.
Yes, so the first one is an 82 rated right back who can also play left back in game. He's got 85 pace, 63 shooting, 77 passing, 80 dribbling, 79 defence, and 79 physical. Obviously, he's in the Premier League. 4-star weak foot, 4-star skills, but he's primarily right-footed.
Wait, that threw me off. 4-star weak foot and 4-star skill.
Yeah. So there you go. That is your first one. A right back that can be deployed as a left back in the Premier League. 82 overall.
Oh, is that the little left back thing in the corner?
Yes, that means that's
means
another
he can play
position
there.
they can play. It's
That's
a new
quite
thing they've
cool.
added now, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the fact how unrealistic it went, where you can get like purple and blue cards already. Like, but that's
It's a
why
boomer.
I gave up. I lost me love for it. But so it's definitely, the thing is, the dribbling's high, but then his shot's low. Because you go dribbling high, that must mean he's a fucking attacking fullback. But then it's like shot 63, defense. That's pretty solid for a fullback. 79 defense, I think.
It's a respectable rating for this player. Might be this player's highest rating on a FIFA for a normal card. I think it probably is. So if you don't include all these special cards they do, I reckon this is the highest this player's been rated as a gold card. If that is any use to you.
I might just go, that's too high for dribbling if I go for this right back. It's not Wan-Bissaka, is it?
It's not Wan-Bissaka.
Surely not with that.
I think focus on your right back and left back gives you a clue in that you will have seen this player play on both sides before. If that helps you.
Timber?
It is not Timber. I don't actually know what rating he is. I can give you a clue if you want.
Yeah, go on, throw a clue. These are hard.
So, in terms of his shooting being 63, it's probably fair overall, but you've definitely seen this right back fire some decent worldies in from where he'd go. He's probably thinking, why is my shot 63? Because I've scored some fucking good goals from distance.
It's not Porro, is it?
It is not. I think he's higher rated than 82.
He should be. That's why I was so shocked.
So
like,
as a placeholder, you know, if you know Porro's higher, I don't know what Wan-Bissaka is, but you might have been close with that rating.
He's had some good goals.
He's a European player who plays for his respected nation. Maybe not every single game, but he gets caps for his nation more often than not, I would say.
Oh, is this Dallo?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know if anyone else managed to get that quick or not.
Dallo and Porro are the ones that came to my head first.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I never guessed Dallo's.
What put you off with it being that? I think 85 pace seems like a lot, but the United players do talk about him like he's quick, you know?
So the 80 dribbling put me off Dallo. He doesn't dribble.
No, I would agree with that. Doesn't dribble an awful lot. But there we go. Diogo Dallo, first one. We spoke about him a lot on the pod last year. If you listened, you know. So let's go into our second card. Again, these are all Premier League. So this one, for anybody listening, is an 85 right mid that can also be deployed on FIFA.
Cole Palmer.
Yes, it is Cole Palmer.
Sorry.
As a cam and a right. He's ruined the video. And if you're listening at home, you didn't even get a chance. But I didn't even mean send him Cole Palmer. Our finger slipped. But it was one of my ones, so it doesn't really matter.
Sorry, do you know why? Just because.
It's all the positions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, maybe you knew he was left-footed as well.
I'm quite surprised he put 75 pace, so I don't like that.
It's a very big increase because obviously he was like a silver card last year because he kind of went as an transfer no one was expecting to blow up to Chelsea. So Cole Palmer. Okay. Let's go to the next one then. Hey, you don't have to apologise to me. It's the viewers who you ruined the experience for. Next one. So this player is an 85 rated CDM. Can be deployed as a CM. 84 pace, 74 shooting, 81 passing, 81 dribbling, 82 defence, 82 physical. Right-footed with a 4-star weak foot, 3-star skills.
What a card that
Pretty
is,
solid overall, especially for a gold card early on in the year, this one.
That's a brilliant card. I wonder if that's McAllister.
That is not McAllister.
Oh,
I don't know. I think he's got quite a good rating, though. I think he might be 84 or 85 off the top of my head.
Because that's like an all-rounder, but I'm thinking 85.
This is
because that's something that I'd probably associate fucking like a Rodri being.
Well, for clarity, Rodri is a 91.
That's what I mean. He's not going to be an 85.
If that gives you an idea of where this play... I'll let you mull it over. If not, I can give you a clue.
Is this Declan Rice?
It is not. Declan Rice has got an 87 this year. So that gives you another placeholder. I'd focus on the CDM. I think you would definitely think of this player as more... I know they can play the centre mid on there. Definitely you would associate them with the more defensive style.
Bruno Guimaraes.
That is not right, no. But I think he is an 84 or an 85.
He's an all-rounder in the centre.
See, I don't want to say that. In my opinion, this guy isn't really, really well-rounded. I think of him as being quite one-dimensional, but maybe that's harsh.
They're being generous here, are they?
I think the card's great. The pace shocks me.
Is this a guy that hasn't played recently? Like, he's only just come back?
It is.
It's Tonali.
It's Tonali, yeah.
What the hell?
I was going to say, the fact he's maintained that rating...
The fact he's got them stats and we haven't even seen the guy play.
This must be purely based on, when he was last on FIFA before his ban, how he was sitting, and they can't really drag him down a huge lot when he's not played.
And he hasn't looked great, has he, this season yet?
84 pace shocks me, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the park, if you're using him, and 4-star weak foot's pretty solid.
I mean, it's a great card.
Yeah, especially early on, before they had all your rainbow cards in that you hate so much. It's probably a very good starter card.
Birthday cards and all that bollocks.
Okay, we'll move swiftly on.
Remember the good old days when it took you all season to get Xavi, who was an 89?
No, even if you packed a random inform, you were like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And now you pack an inform, you're like, oh, they go for discard price. That's great. Okay. Next one for you then. It's coming up. So this is an 82 rated centre-back.
I know it.
He knows it off one accolade, and I'm going to tell you all what it is. It's the 88 pace. Go on then.
Van de Ven.
Van de Ven, did you get it before he did? Because he spoiled it for you again. 82 is a bit criminal, isn't it, really? I think he deserves to be a bit higher than that, based on performances last year.
Going to say 88 pace for a centre-back is unreal.
I know, I need to get him.
I don't think have you ever seen that on?
You definitely have, because they do all this stupid stuff now where players get stupid. But in a base card, centre-back...
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Don't know off the top of my head. Probably had something near that before. Yeah. Well, that's probably one of the quickest.
Wow.
They have a lot of cards now where they can play right back and left back, but you can put them at centre half. It's a bit rubbish.
I think them stats are accurate as well. I think they've done good for that.
I think the 82 is a bit harsh.
No, the 82, I mean, the stats in general, I think 83 defensive probably reasonable, just because we've only seen one season. I think it's a bit harsh to put 81 physical, because I've seen him get bullied a few times, so yeah.
I think 83, 84 for his rating would have been fairer. I think 82 is quite... Considering he had a very good first season.
Yeah.
But maybe it's fair. Okay, so I've only got one more for you. I know you're having so much fun. You wish I did more. So are you guys. Unless you hate FIFA and you're just like, what is this? Okay, last one. Got to give some love to the goalkeepers. Sam wouldn't be very happy if we didn't. So this last one is an 83 rated goalkeeper. I don't know if the stats are really going to help you that much for this one, but I'll read them out anyway. So you got 82 diving, 81 handling, 86 kicking. So you know he's quite good at playing out. 82 reflexes, 57 speed, 81 positioning, 3-star weak foot, 1-star skills. What a shock for a goalkeeper.
Well, a 5-star skill at goalkeeper. Pickford.
This is not Pickford. I believe he's probably lower rated than this, but don't quote me on that.
Kicking. It's got to be a good
Relatively good at kicking, yeah. I don't think it, you look at his rating, it's obviously not your big boys in Alisson and Edison.
So with the kicking, though, I think it can only be Raya Onana. I don't think, if that's kicking, I don't think you should put Pope in there. But that rating and everything screams Pope to me.
Well, give me a guess.
Onana.
It is not. I'll tell you now that Onana is higher rated than this goalkeeper on FIFA. I think.
Is he?
I think Onana's an 84.
I
might be wrong. Maybe he's an 83. But
well, in that case, it definitely shouldn't be Raya. Raya should be higher. and I say it shouldn't be Pope, but is it Pope?
It's not Pope.
Ah, damn, who's this then? Let's go for the key. No, it's not. It's not Vicario, is it?
I don't know what rated he is either, to be fair.
Martinez?
No, he is higher rated. I think Martinez is an 84 or an 85. When I've give you these tips about ratings, it's thrown you. I'm telling you. You were on the money.
I was on the money. What do you mean?
You were on the money.
It's not Raya, is it?
It is David Raya. That is David Raya's.
Wow, they've done him dirty.
FIFA. He is. I think Onana's an 84. I'll have to double check that. But
I mean, you get Golden Glove and you're an 83.
He's either the same rating as Onana or one less, and I'm pretty sure Martinez is higher than both of them.
Oh, they've done him dirty there.
But I mean, it was probably a big jump from his Brentford rating. I reckon that was probably a high 70 rating. Yeah. So if he has a good season again, I can see him getting a really good card next year. Probably gets a few informs based on his performances so far.
I think diving 82. I think that's really bad for him.
I think the kicking's probably fair. It's a good start. High 80, 86.
Yeah, but I think the others should be better than that for Raya.
But if you're playing along on the YouTube, out of the 5, how many did you get? I mean, it's hard if you got some of them before Bowers because he did get some of them quite quick. But you've got to be honest.
I got 2 quick.
You've got to be honest. If you didn't get them that fast, then you don't get the point. That's you get the points. You did get all 5. A few incorrect guesses, but it's pretty solid performance.
I'll allow it.
I think it was pretty solid. But that was just a bit of something different. FIFA's out. I don't know. Even if you don't play FIFA, maybe that was entertaining to get a view into how EA rates the players.
Yeah, because they haven't played in a while. It was hard.
But yeah, little bit of something different. If you enjoyed it, maybe we can throw some things like that out on whatever platforms in the future.
Yeah, we did say because obviously we're starting to do the game segment soon. Maybe end of next month. I think the first one might be out. And we might bring a game of FIFA on there between us.
I think we could even maybe play each other for forfeit, or we could even set teams up with players and not play, but make them play.
Do a draft.
Yeah, or even Football Manager. We could get a season going. Forget showing the whole thing, but show how our game goes, where we've set it up tactically. I don't know. If any of that sounds good, let us know. We'll probably do something at some point.
Yeah.
Why not? But that covers it on the game side of things. It takes us into Super 6 and reviewing a bit of the fantasy and signing off for the week.
Yeah, fantasy, I think we should leave it just because it was a shocker for me.
Did you have a stinker? I didn't have a great week, but it wasn't bad for me. It was okay for me this week.
52.
72.
Wow.
For the 3rd week in a row, I've failed to pick the best possible captain out of my players, which is really where I'm falling down at the moment because my players outside of the captaincy pick pulled me in some points.
Do you know what's done me over? The wild card. I would have been better not to play the wild card. Yeah, I did wild card to bring Haaland in. I had to take Mbeumo and all that out. Mbeumo still scores.
Still scoring. Haaland's got 1 this week.
Yeah.
I didn't captain him. I captained Salah, who did get an assist.
So did I, yeah.
I've got Morgan Rogers on the bench. I debated whether starting him ahead of João Pedro, and I went against it.
You know what? It's so weird. Do you know Duran? He's averaging the best goal per game ratio, all this stuff, or per minute, whatever. And he's worth 6.9 or something like that, and that's quite expensive for a guy that doesn't play. Doesn't start, does he?
Yeah,
he just comes on.
You
don't
want to pick someone that's not starting. I was gutted with the fact João Pedro didn't start, but got 19 minutes. And at that point in time, Rogers was my first sub, so he would have come on with 10. So João Pedro came on for a 1-pointer and blocked my 10 coming on.
I had Eze on the bench, and he nearly scored 2 against United.
He did have the chances again. That's been his season so far.
Yeah.
Conser, I had, got a goal.
Oh, yeah.
Villa. Another good week for me to have 3 Chelsea assets. Sanchez, Colwill, both with clean sheets. Sanchez got 10
Palmer scored, didn't he?
And Palmer. So I was on, from the first game, I was on 20-something points with 3 players. Mazraoui with a clean sheet. Quite happy with that.
Yeah. I had Kanate as well, and he had assist and a clean sheet.
He did get an assist, yeah. So if I would have got my captaincy right, maybe I'd have seen a bit of an improvement, but still green arrows for me this week, so I'll take that. Probably about time we shout out whoever's top of our league, because I feel like we've not done that in a while.
Go
Top of the Game of Two Halves Pod League at the moment is David Alitzi, my co-worker.
Oh, right.
But there's some good Game of 2 Halves names here. Liam Muff is in second, and Ashley Bowers is in third.
Yeah.
All people that we know very well. So, good efforts from the lads so far. You're all going to fall down and get absolutely battered by me as the league goes on. But, good effort for trying this early on. I'm already in Ash's head now if he's listening. It happened to him last year.
It did, it did happen.
He's also leading another league win, and I'm looking at it not that worried because I'm like, the fall-off's coming, Ashley. I'm waiting.
So this is annoying because I've just been looking at the who's at top of the Super 6.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not giving me the full name.
Oh, that stinks a little bit. Is it even worth shouting out anyway, or is it not?
Well, the top of it says the season in the Game of Two Halves League. We have got, how many we've got in there?
42 we have.
Ah, yes. Why is Douse?
Oh, mine tells me who's top.
Well, it says the full name?
Yeah, it's Will Milner in first at the moment. For me.
It just says William Mill.
Oh, it says full name for me.
All right.
What's wrong with your technology?
Yeah, so...
Hey, but I'm in 7th out of 42.
Yeah, you got +2. You went +2.
So I'm doing all right. I'm happy with that at the moment. I'm not a huge...
26th.
I'm not a huge Super 6 guy. I've kind of tried to get into a rhythm for the Game of Two Halves League.
Yeah.
To try and fly the flag for one of the hosts to be in the top 10.
Well, the thing
is...
is...
failing, so I had to step up.
Well, the thing is with Super 6, like, even if you don't do it for the league, it's always worth doing it every week anyway, just for that 250k.
Yeah.
Just
when I get that
chance.
You'll be sat here on your own doing this podcast, that's for sure.
Why? It's not going to retire you.
I'm joking. Yeah, but it'll sort me out.
It will, yeah.
But no, it'll propel us into stardom in the football podcast universe. So.
All right, let's do the midweek games then. So
I have done mine, so I'll just read them out as we go.
Okay, City Watford.
You say this, I've called you a boomer and I don't know how to find it now. Here we go. Okay. City Watford, I have gone 4-0 City.
3-0 City. Chelsea Barrow.
I have gone 3-0 Chelsea. I feel like this could be a lot more.
I'm on 4-0.
Yeah, but I mean, Barrow are in the National League. I don't know. I'm very poor with this, so you have to excuse me. I feel like they're very low down, so I feel like they could absolutely leather these.
It could be a 5, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Wimbledon versus Newcastle, and you think this one's been called off?
I think it's been postponed based on Wimbledon's pitch that we've seen. If you've seen it, you know it looks like a golf course. So before that, I had gone 3-1 Newcastle, but I guess we can.
Well, I'm going to put it in anyway, just because they might fuck me over by doing that. 3-1.
Whack it in there. Why not?
Wickham,
you copying me with your 3-1.
Yeah, but I did it to Wimbledon. Now,
oh my god.
Wickham v Aston Villa.
I've gone 4-1 Villa.
2-1 Aston Villa. Liverpool v West Ham.
One of the only Premier League ties I think this is. I've gone 2-0 Liverpool.
1-0 West Ham.
Oh my goodness.
I like being different.
They can't buy a win. He hates Lopetegui as well.
Yeah. I just think Liverpool probably alternate in the cup, and they
I just can't see them losing at home.
Yeah,
I know they lost at home the other week, but I can't see it against West Ham at the moment.
Okay, so Arsenal v Bolton to finish it off.
I've gone Arsenal 4-0.
2-0.
I think there could be some huge scores in there, but
you never know.
Yeah. There's always upset potential in the cup, but some of them seem like on paper that they're just going to be a landslide.
Okay, so your minute, what did you get?
7th I've gone for.
Considering Mbermo's was first.
I think we've had first back-to-back, haven't we? First and first, or first and third, or something like that.
I'm going to go with...
With some of these games being a potential landslide, first could be a shout, to be honest. I think it will be early on.
16th.
Oh my God. I said it thought it'd be early on. He's tripled it.
Right. It's all done.
Super 6 done.
Locked
Fantasy done. Obviously, keep grinding in those leagues. You might get a shout-out. And it's such a prestigious accolade to have a shout-out from the Game of 2 Halves podcast.
Well, we have got rewards, haven't we? If you finish.
It. Keep grinding away, because there is prizes up for grabs. But I'm going to make it my absolute challenge to make sure no one gets them this year. I nearly did it last year.
Yeah, you nearly did it last year.
I was first for a little while, and it really fell away from me. But this time, I'm starting slow, and I'm coming for everybody up at that top spot. then you can sit, wherever you
Sit where
want.
I'm happy in middle. I was middle all last season.
In the middle where it's safe.
Yeah.
But I think that rounds it up, unless you've got anything to add.
I know.
So, episode 50-something. Forgot. 53. There you go. Episode 7 of the season. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen or watch along. We've noticed a lot of people are on YouTube. We're getting a lot more interest than we used to. So be sure to drop a comment. Subscribe if you're not logged in. We'd really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole shebang. Obviously on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you can follow and rate the podcast. We'd really appreciate it. Even if that's not the platform you're going to listen to and you're on YouTube now, if you can drop us a rating, it helps us out massively. And we'll be pumping out the TikToks and Instagram Reels and the YouTube Shorts as well, if you'd rather just watch little snippets of the pod here and there. Look out for any other uploads. We're going to have different content upcoming over the next few months, but the pod will be here, as always. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening. Peace.